Picture this. You've just hauled the absolute last box into your gorgeous new desert home right here in Tucson. The Arizona sun is beating down, you are totally wiped out, and literally all you want is an ice-cold glass of tap water. So, you walk into the kitchen, turn the faucet, and nothing, not a single drop. It is a homeowner's absolute worst nightmare, right? Especially when you're living in the middle of the desert. Look, setting up utilities usually feels like a total afterthought. But out here, the stakes of desert living mean you really can't afford to get this wrong. Moving to a new city brings enough headaches with bureaucratic red tape without having to stress over water service boundaries. You might be thinking, hey, it's Beaman County, I'll just flip a switch on moving day, right? Well, not exactly. Getting your water flowing out here actually requires some strategic planning. Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to our explainer. Today, we are serving up the ultimate, stress-free guide to getting your water flowing in the Tucson Basin. Whether you're a complete beginner to desert life or you're just hopping across town, we're going to break down this whole complex process so you can navigate it like an absolute pro. So here's our game plan for today. We'll start by figuring out how to find your specific water provider, then we'll look at the exact documents you need to gather. After that, we'll walk through the actual steps to activate your service, break down the costs and deposits so there are no surprises, and finally, wrap up with some great assistance programs and a quick disclaimer. All right, part 1. Let's talk about finding your water provider and navigating Tucson's geographical utility map. The biggest thing you need to know right out of the gate is that Tucson's water system isn't just one giant, unified grid. You can't just dial a generic 1-800 number and be done with it. Your provider is dictated strictly by where your new home actually sits. So, Tucson Water covers most of the incorporated city and parts of unincorporated Pima County. But say you're moving to the northwest or northeast, you'll probably be dealing with the Metro Water District. Head up north, and you're in Oro Valley Water Territory, while the North Central Corridor belongs to the Flowing Wells Irrigation District. Seriously, you have to verify your provider using your zip code before you even close escrow. It's an absolute must. And you might be wondering, why are these boundaries so incredibly rigid? Well, it all comes down to the physical infrastructure underground. These complex underground pipe systems mean utility districts literally cannot cross lines to hook you up. If your house is tapped into Metro Water's grid, Tucson Water physically cannot turn your tap on. It's like a giant puzzle, and you just have to play by the rules of the grid. Moving right along to part 2, gathering your required documents so you can actually prove your identity and residency. Okay, so you've found your provider. Now we shift to the paperwork. Setting up a new utility account is basically like establishing a new line of credit, so anti-fraud identity checks are pretty strict here. You'll need a valid government-issued photo ID. Now, if the address on that ID doesn't match your new desert home, which happens all the time when relocating, you're going to need 2 recent proofs of residency, like a lease agreement or a mortgage statement. You'll also need to declare whether you're the owner or a tenant. Oh, and here's a really fantastic perk. Tucson Water actually does not require a social security number to establish basic residential service, so that's one less thing to worry about. All right, part 3, the actual steps to activate your service and those strategic operational protocols. So our paperwork is good to go. Now we enter the action phase of our survival guide. Think of this as your chronological roadmap. Step 1, like we just covered, verify your provider via zip code. Step 2, submit your applications early. A lot of these providers let you do it super easily online or just over the phone. And step 3, if you're renting, coordinate directly with your landlord. You want to make sure that utility transfer lines up perfectly with your move-in date. This is going to save you from any physical shutoffs or those completely avoidable expensive reconnect fees. Here is the crucial takeaway from all this. Who your provider is directly dictates how far in advance you have to plan. Look at the massive difference here. Tucson Water requires 3 to 5 business days notice, and they explicitly do not do same-day turn-ons for new accounts. No exceptions. On the flip side, Metro Water, they only need 1 business day of notice. So if you just assume you can call Tucson Water on the day you move in, you are literally going to be spending your first week in the desert without running water, and nobody wants that. Let's jump to part 4. We need to understand the costs and deposits, the actual financial realities of activating your service. Moving right along, let's talk numbers, because it is so important that new residents aren't caught off guard by sudden fees. Moving is expensive enough already, right? For instance, if Metro Water is your provider, they have a standard residential deposit of $200 that you have to pay before service starts. But there is a pretty nice silver lining. If you've had an account with them sometime in the last 2 years and you've got a clean 12-month payment history, they will actually just waive that deposit for you.
Now, if you're in Tucson water territory, you're looking at a $30 water service turn-on charge. That's just their standard account activation fee for a new customer at an existing location. The good news? You usually don't have to fork this over up front. It just quietly shows up on your very first billing statement.
There are a couple of other financial curveballs to watch out for too. Say the previous occupant didn't pay their bills and the meter got locked or removed. Tucson Water will charge a $45 re-service fee just to unlock it. Also, and pay close attention to this one, when you get that first bill, look it over carefully. Tucson actually bundles several regional services together. You're going to want to verify that your Pima County Regional Wastewater, which is your sewer, and your environmental services, that's your trash and recycling, are accurately bundled and active right there on that initial statement.
Okay, Part 5, Assistance Programs, and our final disclaimer. Let's talk about long-term affordability.
Providing reliable water in a desert is incredibly resource-intensive, but thankfully, there are some amazing affordability programs out there for low-income households. The big standout here is Tucson Water Cares. Basically, this is a utility bill assistance program that actually lowers the monthly cost of your water, sewer, and garbage bills for up to 3 full years. Applying is super straightforward online or by phone. You just need to have a current utility statement, a valid photo ID, and proof of your household income for the past 30 days. It is a real game changer if you qualify.
And local initiatives like the CARES program actually tie into this much broader national mission. Organizations like Moonshot Missions are out there advocating every single day to make sure safe, clean water and wastewater services are affordable and equitable for all communities. It just goes to show that ensuring access to clean waterways at fair rates is a massive priority, especially when we're talking about underserved areas.
All right, before we officially wrap up, we've got to hit on a quick disclaimer. Municipal rules, fees, and those boundary lines we talked about, they evolve, they change. While this explainer gives you a fantastic head start, always verify the most current rules and rates directly with your local water authority, whether that's Tucson Water, Metro Water, or Oro Valley. It's just the smartest way to be completely safe and avoid surprises. And there you go. You are now officially equipped to conquer your utility setup like a desert native. Getting that water flowing is just step one of your new adventure out here. So I'd love to hear from you. What part of moving to the Tucson desert are you actually most excited about? Let us know. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you in the next one.